Hi, this is Gene Acasella from Port St. John, Florida, and you're listening to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to. Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude.
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet or wiener.
Oh, listen, Liberty, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And welcome to the second hour of this show, the Barbecue Central Show. Not familiar with it? We come to you here live from Cleveland. Tuesday nights, 9 to 11. And we talk about barbecue and grilling related things. That's right. If you want to jump in, you can get at me through Clubhouse. Download the app, find me, follow me if that's what you do on Clubhouse, friend me or whatever it is, and then you can get on. Hey. Still to come on this show this evening, Jessica Efland from Smithfield, the Associate Brand Manager for the Fresh Pork Division, and barbecue rolls up under her, so we will be talking about the Smithfield Grant Program in 2022, which I did not.
Andrew, you are not the father.
I didn't see that happening again. It's not that competition barbecue seems to have dropped a little bit in popularity, but in my opinion, it appears that competition barbecue had dropped a little bit in popularity over the last couple of years. So it's nice to see. I'm happy I'm wrong, believe me. The 7th year of a grant program sponsored by Smithfield, helping the payout in what could be anywhere up to 24 different competitions is great. So I'm very excited about that. I just didn't see it happening. So once again, this proves the old saying that smarter people are in charge than me. Specifically in this instance, smarter people are in charge. And I'm happy that to be the case. So if you are somebody that applied for a Smithfield grant and you're wondering if this is you, did you make it this year? You've applied 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Is this going to be it? We'll see. In about 11 minutes from now, Jessica Efland will make her Barbecue Central Show debut and reveal all those that get the Smithfield grants here in 2022. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Also, video feeds can be found /BBQ Central Show on Facebook and Twitch. Also, /RD Rempe on YouTube. And as I have mentioned, live audio feed here on Clubhouse, which we will try and utilize with some leftover time here after we get done talking about the Smithfield stuff. So we'll see what happens. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less this coming Friday, if you can believe it, episode 211. And do you know who it's going to be? Barbecue Central Show Guest Hall of Famer class of 2021, John Solberg. That's right. I'm not even going to tease it. That's tease enough. Want to hear a Barbecue Central Show Guest Hall of Famer on a best of show? John Solberg this week. You got it. You do have to be subscribed to the podcast feed or you have to visit the website every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday when new things are released just to check it. If you're not subscribed to the podcast feed, I would suggest subscribing to a podcast feed somewhere. It's available on all of them. A lot of people like Apple Podcasts, which on Apple Podcasts, you can get, if you want, an ad-free podcast experience. It's totally up to you. Also through the Patreon page. That's another way you can get it. If they give you your own personal RSS feed, it's private. So you go to patreon.com/BBQ Central Show. You sign up there. They give you a feed that you can copy and put it right into your iTunes. Is it iTunes? Apple Podcast, your Google Podcast, your Stitcher, whatever. And it shows up just like a regular show would, except it's the special RSS feed because you're paying for it. Anyway, I digress. Sign up some way on a podcast platform. That's the best way to do it. You get notified that new things have happened. I've already done 2 bonus contents this year, so you don't want to miss those. Those are something else that you need to be subscribed to from the podcast feed platform standpoint. So 211 of the Best of show this coming Friday. We'll see me having had a conversation with John Solberg. Also, don't forget, if you want to hear a guest or a segment again, it's been lost in the archives, you remember it, you have some key words that you can shoot over, give them to John. He'll do his due diligence and then turn around a show just for you. We've done a small handful of those over the course of, we're entering in our 5th year now of the Best of show. Send them an email, jon@thebbqcentralshow.com. That's jon@thebbqcentralshow.com. Now, last week, when I was talking to Malcolm Reed, we were talking about initial sparks or motivators for getting into cooking. What am I looking at? Inspirations? Maybe that's it. And we were talking about, Malcolm had mentioned Justin Wilson, that Cajun cook, who said things like, "Ooh, boy, they wonder, Miss I go on tea." He said that a lot. And then I said, I believe it was either before or after Justin, Martin Yan can cook, whose knife skills at that point were beyond reproach, maybe none better on cooking television at that point. He could chop the crap out of everything. Didn't even look, and he was like, do. It was crazy. Very inspirational. And then I said, you know who else I liked? Was that Frugal Gourmet, and I couldn't remember what his name was. Well, I've done a little due diligence, and wouldn't you know it, the Frugal Gourmet, his name is Jeff Smith, who we say with peace and love expired July 7th, 2004.
Peace and
so
love.
17, 18 years ago, if you can believe it. Frugal Gourmet has left us. He was the author of several best-selling cookbooks. As I had mentioned, the host of Frugal Gourmet, a popular American cooking show which began in Tacoma, Washington. Shout out to Pacific Northwest, Diane Me, and those folks out there. Did that in 1973, later moved to WTTW TV in Chicago, where they're nationally on where PBS from 1983 to 1997, a 14-year run of the Frugal Gourmet. And then I said, but I think he was some kind of pedophile or something like that, but I wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't speaking out of school. Well, in 1997, 7 men filed a civil lawsuit against Smith, charging him with sexual abuse. 6 alleged that they were molested as teenagers. I believe that falls into the pedophile category. In the 1970s, while working at the Champlain's Pantry in Tacoma, the 7th child claimed he was assaulted in 1992 at age 14 after Smith picked him up as a hitchhiker. This coming from Wikipedia, by the way. Smith denied the allegations. No criminal charges were filed, but he and his insurers settled the cases for an undisclosed amount in 1998. The litigation ended his television career, though he continued in his writing and charitable works. So, just so we have the facts straight from my mouth throwing around last week, he was involved in some type of litigation. There were no charges filed criminally. I believe there was a statute of limitations that probably had passed by that point. Sexual abuse does have statutes of limitations. If you are following the Jeffrey Epstein / Ghislaine Maxwell, you know this. But there was a civil suit filed, which is what you can do outside of the criminal aspect when the statute of limitations folds, and then they settled. Now, that's all I'm saying. You want to draw your own conclusions on what settling means. That's your opinion. That's your take. I'm not going to have any opinion to take on that. But we're tying a bow on the Frugal Gourmet, who, again, I love to watch. I found him to be incredibly entertaining and kind of a curmudgeon in a PBS kind of way. Like, to me, he epitomized what the talent of PBS was from a cooking standpoint. If a lot of you are listening and you have, who the hell is the Frugal Gourmet? Just Google it. He's kind of a gregarious fellow. All right, we have Jessica Efland coming up next to reveal the Smithfield Grant Program of 2022. I know you're all waiting with bated breath on that one, of course. I'll talk to you quickly about Yoder Smokers. They design and build all of their products right here in the States, building pride through craftsmanship and world-class customer service. It's the backbone of how they've built the company. This approach translates into what can be a truly bespoke style product that elevates gatherings with friends and family, honored to have a trusted place in the backyards of America. From pellet cookers to wood-fired offset pits and charcoal grills, consistent blue ribbon flavor has become synonymous with the Yoder Smokers name. Make no mistake, Yoder Smokers' flavor-driven design is unique to each style of pit, and their team has developed their cookers to perform time and time again while outlasting the competition for generations to come. It's this generational thought that is rooted in their handmade products and define the integrity of the core value. American-made quality and endless flavor, those, my friends, are the benchmarks of Yoder Smokers. Many of you have them. Many of you love them. If you're not familiar, might I suggest the website, yodersmokers.com. That's yodersmokers.com, and grab yours today. Or if you're not ready to grab, research all the ones that they have. Again, fire pits, wood-fired offsets, pellet cookers, you name it. One of the best names in the industry. Yodersmokers.com. That's yodersmokers.com. And we are back with the reveal of the 2022 Smithfield Grant Program. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show. Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Head over to smithfield.com right now for recipes, as well as tips and tricks from well-known live-fire cooks like Darren Worthchild, Cridlin, and Jess Pryles, with mouth-watering flavor and no artificial ingredients. Smithfield Fresh Pork is quite simply the finest pork money can buy, the trusted choice of top cooks for use at competition and at home. All right, kicking off the second hour of interviews tonight is a first-timer to the show, and over the past handful of years, Smithfield has been perhaps doing more for the purses of competition barbecue than any other single entity associated with it. How are they doing that? With something called the Smithfield Grant Program, which is something we'll be talking about this evening. We'll be also announcing all of the competitions that will be a part of that. And here to do that with me is, as I mentioned, first timer of the show and a Smithfield brand manager, Jessica Efland. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great, and I'm so happy that you are here. I'm so happy that Smithfield is once again on the show, ready to announce the Smithfield Grant Program recipients, and we're going to be talking about that, obviously, for a good portion of this interview. But before we get into that and some of the other ancillary things that Smithfield is into, if you don't mind, since it's your first time on the show, and we've known everybody else that has come on the show, a little background on you, if you're a live fire lover, and what you've done professionally prior to getting involved with Smithfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I graduated Old Dominion University as I got my degree in sports management. So clearly, pork with sports. And then I had my first career really in radio and media. Then I started in retail. And because of retail, I really enjoyed working with vendors. So I decided to make the switch to Smithfield and work for a CPG company, and I love it.
So I don't want to belabor this point, but it's rare that I stumble across somebody that has a collegiate degree, even within the realm of my mind with sports business. You said, or sports industry, technically at Ohio University, or sports business. Did you have a initial dream of being in the sports world in some degree?
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to be a sports agent. I did. That's how I started my career. And in college, I did a bunch of sports internships, and then I got hooked on radio. And with media and sports industry, they kind of go hand in hand. And I just went down that path.
So you get to CPG, you team up with Smithfield, you go to work there. I'm always interested in what a brand manager, associate brand manager, anything in branding entails. So as we look at your day to day and what you're responsible for, what does that look like?
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually responsible for part of the Smithfield brand. So I handle all of the fresh and fully cooked that comes out of Smithfield. So what happens is, and that's why barbecue rolls up into me, because of course the butts and the ribs and St. Louis and all that stuff. So what we do is we just really want to make sure that we have a pulse on what's going on and how our retailers are and our customers and our consumers. And we work with cross-functional teams, and we just want to make sure we put the best product out there.
If you had to pick between your fresh pork products, and let's get it right out in the open, I'm a huge fan of all of them. Do you have a particular favorite that you would go to amongst the others if you had your druthers?
It depends on who's cooking. So honestly, I love a good pork butt.
My favorite. Yeah. So I love the pork butt. I love the extra tender ribs. And maybe it's like my championing of the underdog. I still feel like pork tenderloin is not widely overlooked, but between all the great selections that Smithfield has to offer, I think pork tenderloin on the whole seems to get overlooked. If you cook that thing right, not overcooking it to like 180 like some of these maniacs do because they still think that there's weird diseases happening from the 30s and the 40s. The mouthfeel and the flavor, it is almost akin to like a well-cooked filet mignon if you're doing it right. And my family loves them, and they're fairly inexpensive. They're my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we also, within that line, so we have that with the fresh product, and we also have marinated. So we have marinated loin fillets with different flavors. Same thing with the tenderloin. So all you have to do is skip the spice aisle. It's great. 30 minutes in the oven, stovetop, even in the air fryer, and you're good to go.
When we look at competition barbecue, it has had quite a long history. You have Gary and Carolyn Wells starting KCBS, all the way back in the 80s. And here we are now in 2022, just freshly into 2022. I can't imagine that as they had started this whole venture that they would have imagined it would have spooled up into something that it is now. And you saw it in television, and I think it inspired a lot of people to cook more at home, especially out in the backyard with live fire, because you didn't have to be some kind of world-class athlete in order to get to the highest levels of competition. I can't go out and be a football player or a baseball player, but if I practiced, I could go out and be perhaps a top-level pitmaster and get all those accolades and everything. All the way back when this Smithfield Grant Program was developed, I was wondering at that point, why was Smithfield looking to invest initially? And then as we see it make its run over the last handful of years, year after year, why does Smithfield continue to invest in competition barbecue?
Well, Smithfield is a big part of the barbecue community, and we want to be a part of the community. It's very all-inclusive. We're continuing to invest in the sport of barbecue, especially with this year's Smoking with Smithfield Grant Program, as we're going to talk about, from our sponsorships, and then also just major competitions for our ongoing commitment to the consumer to deliver consistent and top-quality pork products. This initiative is just one of the many ways that Smithfield as a brand continues to further, our support of the growing barbecue industry and community. So it just helps us, get out there and we like supporting, backyard barbecues.
Before we talk about who gets into the Smithfield Grant Program this year in 2022, one of the other, let's call it a companion program that seems to run along with that is the Smoking with Smithfield Committed Cooks Program. That's typically had a website, smokingwithsmithfield.com. Is the Committed Cooks Program something that will also make its appearance in 2022?
Absolutely. Smithfield is proud to bring back our Committed Cooks program. This is going to be our 6th season, so we're very excited about it. We have limited spots remaining, actually, so please go ahead and visit www.smokingwithsmithfield.com, where all the teams can sign up. As a committed cook, the teams will receive exclusive swag from Smithfield and be awarded for the pork and rib first place finishes and special giveaways all season. We love our surprise and delights.
Are you surprised with the amount of reaction that you get from Smithfield? I mean, or from the pitmasters to go to the Smithfield Committed Cooks program?
Yes, they love it. Everybody loves it. Everybody is very grateful. They're very excited, and they love to hang their Smithfield banner proud.
It's a great partnership almost. So you pay a little bit for shipping. You get a whole bunch of stuff, well more than what you would get from a shipping charge. And then from a Smithfield perspective, I mean, it's got to be great to have from the very highest levels all the way down to, somebody to just be a ham and egger like me that would show up maybe once or twice to a competition, having the Smithfield brand all around it. It seems like it's a win-win for everybody involved.
Absolutely. Grassroots marketing. It's perfect. Yep.
All right. So if you are ready, then I am ready to do something that everybody is waiting for and that they've built in here through the first handful of minutes here on this segment, is to talk about who is going to be getting the Smithfield grant. So if you're ready, I'll hit the sounder and we're ready. Ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Right, here we go. Jessica from Smithfield joining me here on the show. And we are getting ready to announce the Smithfield Grant Program recipients for 2022. So how do you want to do this? You want to go like date, like the next or the first, and then roll it down through the year? It's up to you. You tell me how you want to do it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off by date, and I will roll through. And, on behalf of the Smithfield team, I'm pleased to announce these recipients of the 6th annual Smoking with Smithfield Grant Program. We received applications from all across the country. We had 21 different states win, which is huge. We have 24 non-profit and community barbecue events that have been carefully selected to receive up to $3,000 each, a total investment of $75,000 on behalf of Smithfield. So we are very excited to make this announcement.
How many competitions are trying to get a grant? What's the influx look like on that end?
Oh, we get hundreds.
Oh, my.
Yep. Yeah, everybody wants to be a part. And I think it's great because, this grant money helps inflate the prize wheel, the prize bucket. And this way, and especially if a charity is involved, this way it just helps us, give back to the community. So not only to the grant program winners, but then also to the people who are participating.
Yeah, we'll talk about like historical investment that you've made and then what Smithfield looks at from a potential consideration standpoint here after we get all the names out there. So
perfect.
Go ahead and you let it fly. We'll be ready.
All right. January 22nd, Golden State Battle 4 in Santa Barbara, California. The second one is going to be February 19th, Barbecue and Brew Fest, Best in the Desert Southwest at Yuma, Arizona. Number 3 is going to be March 19th at Snowshoe, Taunton, Massachusetts. Number 4, March 25th is we have 2 events on March 25th. Barbecue Gives Back in Urbana, Virginia. March 25th again, Hammond Barbecue Inc. in Hammond, Louisiana. Then we have April 16th is Smokin' for Garrett in Boonville, Indiana. April 23rd, Smoke on the Water Festival in Florence, Alabama. I know, doesn't that sound nice? On the water. April 23rd, Smokin' in the Creek Barbecue in Sugar Creek, Missouri. April 29th, Masters in May in Bancroft, Wisconsin. April 30th, Hog Wild Barbecue Cook-Off and Family Festival in Brookhaven, Mississippi. May 6th, Lots, Stock, and Barrows Barbecue Cook-Off in Hondo, Texas. May 13th, Twin Valley Fire and Smoke in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. May 14th, Jiggy with the Piggy. That will be taking place in Kannapolis, Georgia. May 21st is going to be High on the Hog Festival in Winchester, Tennessee. June 3rd is going to be Smokin' and Steel in Ottawa, Minnesota. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Then June 18th, Almost Heaven Barbecue Bash in Roanoke, West Virginia. July 9th, Clayton Barbecue Cook-Off in Clayton, California. July 30th, Smoke in the Groove Barbecue Festival. That will be in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. August 26th, Death's Door Barbecue on Washington Island in Wisconsin. September 10th, Ribs, Robs, and Rock and Roll in Vermillion, South Dakota. September 17th, Tri-City Barbecue Fest in Denison, Iowa. October 5th, Barbecue and Blues on the Levee in Helena, Arkansas. October 6th, All-American Smokers Competition in Bonifay, Florida. And then we have November 5th, Saluting with Smoke in Plainville, Illinois.
Wow.
Congratulations. Congratulations to all of the events that were chosen for 2022.
Oh. And that is quite a swath of the country. You got California, you crisscross all the way over to Massachusetts, you're down in the dirty South, you're down in the heartland, Pennsylvania, obviously a neighbor to me here in Ohio. So it's quite a run across the country, which, is great. I remember the first time that the grant program came out with anything, right? I didn't get picked. We're going to take to the internet and complain. And it seemed a little bit more regional. But over the years, I doubt that there's any other program like this that is really, quote unquote, sweeping the nation as well as the Smithfield Grant Program is. So everybody getting a shot here. And we're looking forward to all these events. To that point, let's talk about, as you had mentioned, you do this because this helps the purse. This helps the pay down, all the great things that competitors like to go. They want to show off their barbecue wares and skills, but they also want to get paid, and this helps a little bit extra in the purse. How much has Smithfield donated or invested into competition barbecue purses since it started?
So we're honored to have awarded the grants over, 200 plus barbecue events since the program has started. And in 2017, like I said, this is the 6th year. Mm-hmm. So bringing our total investment to date is over $500,000.
Wow.
Which is a lot of money, especially in the barbecue world. The Smoking with Smithfield Grant Program is designed to provide event support, like we talked about, for smaller, less well-established sanctioned barbecue competitions, and to help, deepen the prize pool in all the top categories. We can't tell them where to put the money, but we would like them. We would prefer, the pork and rib category, but we just want to support barbecue.
The other side of that is you have 24 events. You said you had hundreds of applications, so that's got to be its own little little mind thing of, who are we going to pick and blah, blah, blah. We don't want to, you want to get everybody in is what I'm trying to say, of course, but everybody can't be involved.
Yep, absolutely. We like to pick, we look for a few different things when we're choosing grant winner. All barbecue events that want to be a recipient of, absolutely, they have to, of course, fill out the application by the deadline. We look to see if they are sanctioned events. And also this might sound a little different, but we also want to look for events that have adequate facilities for the teams, because when we, put our name on something, we want to make sure that it's a great experience for the consumer. So we just want to make sure everyone has a good experience. Smithfield also looks to see if there's a charity component attached to the barbecue event. And lastly, we do take into consideration the projected attendance and also if there's going to be media support at the event. So throughout the years, our grant recipients have just been so amazing representatives for Smithfield, and they've just been a great asset to us for the barbecue community.
So if you were wondering what it takes to be considered, certainly do all those things. And it sounds like the first thing that you have to do is make sure that you're entered in by the deadline. Easiest thing to do probably, but if you do it past the deadline, you're automatically disqualified. So do that first and then make sure that your event is meeting some of those other criteria and that you could be a lucky recipient here down the road. Anything else that you would like to talk about here, Jessica, before I let you go this evening?
Just for continued Smithfield barbecue updates, please be sure to join our private Facebook group. It is the BBHQ presented by Smithfield. There you'll find a community like-minded pitmasters that share tips and tricks and successes. We will also have exclusive tips and tricks from the world champion pitmasters all season long. All
right. So here she is, the associate brand manager at Smithfield. We've just announced all of the 24 what will be 2022 Grant Recipient Program events. So if you're cooking there, it's going to be great. Support it. And we're just so happy. I'm happy that Smithfield has continued to support this show over, it's probably been, maybe it's been 8 years? It was before the grant program, if you can believe it or not. So it's at least been 7 years. Yeah, so it's been a long time. It always seems like it's...
before 2017, yeah.
Yeah, right. So it always seems like everything is like 3 to 4 years in my mind, probably because I'm getting old. But I appreciate the support of the show. And then, of course, from a competition barbecue standpoint, which I've covered for years and years, the support that you're doing there to keep it going and keep it incentivized. So, Jessica, really appreciate the time this evening. Thanks so much for coming on. And we'll hope to have you on again soon.
Thanks for having us.
You got it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
There she is. Jessica from Smithfield, the website smithfield.com, of course. And if you are interested in getting a re-rundown of the 24 events that were selected for the events over the course of this year, make sure that you tune into my social media. I'll have some graphic postings here shortly. And obviously, you can get a replay of the show. The video archives automatically after we end the show here tonight. And you can also get the podcast, of course, and listen to it at your leisure. First hour is on Wednesdays, of course, second hour on Thursdays, and you can get it that way. And it will be all over Smithfield social media as well. And there you have it. All right. Let's go ahead and do a quick piece of business before we head into the last segment of the show. And I will talk to you quickly about Sterling Ball and the gang over at Big Papa Smokers. That's right. Big Papa, the only online barbecue shop that has everything you need to make your barbecue and grilling life better. All the items on Big Papa's website, bigpapasmokers.com, handpicked by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself, from the award-winning American-made grills and smokers to the rubs and sauces. Big Papa's known for those championship rubs and seasonings, popular flavors like Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, all proven winners on the competition circuit. And in the backyard, Big Papa's offers 13 perfectly balanced flavors that will transform ordinary meals into extraordinary. Whether you're cooking to impress judges or just for the family, Big Papa's award-winning rubs and seasonings just don't disappoint. Now, if you're looking for a new go-to sauce, might I suggest Granny's barbecue sauce? If you're tired of what's existing out there currently, or you just want something new to try Granny's. They're great all by itself, or makes a great base sauce that you can trick out from there. And aside from the premium selection of rubs and sauces, Big Papa's offers the very best charcoal, pellet, and wood cookers available today. If you're looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use, check out that Mac 2-Star General Pellet Cooker. Big Papa Smokers, the exclusive Mac dealer, even offering special packages. Not a fan of pellet smokers? Take a look at that old Hickory Ace BP. It's the charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. If you're not sure of what grill you need, call them and ask questions. 877-828-0727. That's 877-828-0727. Or shop their website at bigpopsmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA smokers.com. You are listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. Turn my ears down? Did. This portion of the show is brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most incredible outdoor cooking device on the planet, currently available in 2 sizes with a host of accessories to choose. Currently available in 3 sizes, everybody. Somebody might want to revise that read real quick. There we go. 3 sizes, a host of accessories to complete that pit barrel cooking experience. Whether you are a beginner or you are a professional, it's definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. So visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. That's pitbarrelcooker.com. All right, we have a open segment the rest of the way. So if you are interested in winning something, go ahead and race over to the clubhouse. Clubhouse is where you can get here on the show. You can answer a couple of quick questions that are pretty easy. And then you have the opportunity of winning this book right here, the Big Book of Barbecue Tricks by friend of show and sometimes barbecue cookbook author, Bill West, if you can believe it. So, if you want to have a chance to win the Big Book of Barbecue Tricks, if you don't have enough barbecue tricks up your sleeve, go ahead and raise your hand, as they say in Clubhouse, and then I'll bring you up on stage and we can play a game, and you could be well on your way to winning a prize. All right, see how that works. Do it right. Joe, are you there? No. I know. Fight on stage. I'm doing it. It appears like it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. Joe, is there something that you need to do? I'm inviting you on stage. You raise your hand. Yes, that's the guy. Whoa. Just in case I blip off the air here, I'm getting light shutters, which never happens. Oh, well, let's see. Joe, did that work?
That worked.
Hey, right. It's Joe Martinez here on the Barbecue Central Show. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. You ready to try your hand at winning the Big Book of Barbecue Tricks by famed barbecue author Bill West?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
You don't happen to have this book already, do you?
Not yet.
So here's what's unique about this book. Aside from having, as they would say, barbecue tricks, there are a number of vignettes that are written into this book where the author Bill West has interviewed people to go a little bit more in depth. Guess what? Within this book, your humble host was also featured in one of these vignettes. How about that?
Now I gotta win a book.
Yeah, so if you didn't know anything about me before, you will know all too much about me by the time you get done reading the big book of barbecue tricks. So, all right, we're going to play a game here. It's a very exciting game. And unfortunately, it's a game that I have to find in my documents here. Hold on. Search older items. Yes. Yeah. Here we go. You're in luck. All right, before we get into the game, Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm just your typical backyard barbecue guy that loves to listen to the show every Tuesday.
And we love that you listen. Here we go. Joe, while you think this might be another game where I'm pulling in Sam the cooking guy to do an impromptu version of What Does Sam Like Best, that is not the case. Tonight, we are revamping or refiring the ever-popular... Now, this game was way more popular many years ago. There was a version called Athlete or Porn Star, but tonight we are bringing back the ever-popular Cheese or Font. So, best out of 5, 3 out of 5. I'm going to give you a name of something, and you're going to tell me if it's a cheese or if it's a type font. Easy enough?
Easy enough.
All right, here we go. Question 1. Batang. Is Batang a cheese or font?
I'm going to say font.
Font. Right. Final answer?
Final answer.
Lock you in. To try and get started off on the right foot, is Batang a font? Yes or no? Yes.
All right.
Oh, very good. So you obviously might know your fonting a little bit, but we'll see about that. So we'll go to the next question. 1 under the belt, Joe. The next one. By the way, you're doing much better than Lance Owen did right off the bat last week, as you can remember.
I remember.
Grana. Is Grana a cheese or a font?
Oh, gosh.
Don't Google it.
I'm not. Man, I'm a cheese freak, and I've never heard of that, so I'm going to say another font.
All right, another font. Final answer?
Final answer.
Joe, a self-admitted cheese freak. Is Grana a font? Oh, so close. Well, we've evened it up. This makes the game a little bit more exciting, Joe. So here's the next question. Joe, can you tell me if the following is a cheese or a font? Orla. Is Orla a cheese or font?
Oh, God. Orla. Can you use that in a sentence?
I can't. I think that would give it away.
I'm going to go with font.
Font, all right. Final answer?
Final answer.
Locking them in. Is Orla a cheese or font? Joe says font. Is he right? Oh! Damn it. Well, just when I was hyping you up that you were doing much better than Lance was last week, I believe you guys have now found yourself in the same exact place. But that's all right. We press forward. You have to get the next 2 right, Joe, in order to win this famed Big Book of Barbecue Tricks cookbook that also features your pal, the host.
All right.
Thinking cap on here. Joe, tell me, is Bandal, a cheese, or font?
Oh God! Can I phone Sam, the cooking guy?
I think we both know there's no way he's going to pick up the phone, right? He wasn't even at his own restaurant when Lance flew all the way from Hawaii to see him with no notice. He wasn't even there. So that might be out of the realm of possibility. But what is Bandal? What is Bandal? Cheese or font?
Bandal. I'm going to say cheese.
Right. Final answer?
Final answer.
Right. So pull even and go to the ever-deciding 5th question. Is Bandal a cheese?
Yes!
Oh, look at you. Woo. Right, Joe, the master of suspense, obviously, as he is going all the way to the bitter end, much like Lance Owen did last week. Here it is. Last question. Joe, tell me this. Is kavoon a font or a cheese? Or a cheese or a font? Kavoon.
Camus?
Kavoon.
Kavoon.
N is in Nancy. Kavoon.
I'm going to say cheese.
Cheese. Right. Final answer?
No, I'm going to change it.
Oh, are you sure? Oh, he's vacillating, folks. This is where it all comes. Now you know we're into serious high stakes. He was cheese, right. He's font. Are we staying font?
I'm going to say font.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Locking him in. Very exciting times here. For all the marbles, is kavoon a font?
Yes!
Yes, it is! Holy moly! Joe, you have taken it all the way to the end, but somehow you have picked kavoon as a font. Obviously luck, but you changed. You went away from the gut, which we don't suggest here on the show, but it has paid off. You now receive a big book of barbecue tricks by Bill West, featuring an interview with me and about the show. So all you need to do is send me your shipping info through email, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com, and we will send you out a copy of the book. Thanks for playing, Joe.
Thank you, Greg, and I need an autograph on that book, too.
Oh, you got it. No problem. There he is, Joe Martinez, the winner. And for everybody here at Cheese or Font, we bid you a adieu. All right. Well, very good for Joe. Winning that great cookbook. Congrats. 2 weeks in a row, we've taken it right down to the bitter end. If you can believe it. I personally can't believe it. But it's fun. It's exciting. All right. Does anybody else want to play? I got another gift I can give away. I have some rubs and sauces and the prize drawer. So if you want to go ahead and give it a whirl, raise a hand. Not you, Lance. You played last week and won, but Rod is in. Scott Atkinson is also available. Let's go ahead and be a little advance here on see if anybody's interested in coming up. All right, great. So let's go ahead and draw the game up again. And we will welcome in Scott Atkinson. Scott, welcome to the show.
Hello, Greg. How are you?
I am great, and we welcome you to a back-to-back edition of Cheese or Font, which I'm hoping you were just listening to, so I don't have to explain the rules again. In any event, before we do that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm just a backyard barbecuer, kind of a diehard Traeger guy, but kind of like to do a little bit of everything. And I'm one of the guys that met you at the Hartville Hardware Grill Fest the last couple of times. So.
All right, Scott. Great to have you back on the show here. So We are going to be playing cheese or font. Best 3 out of 5. I'm going to give you the name of something. It will either be a cheese or a font, which I'm sure you've been able to surmise from that. So are you ready to play?
Yes. I'm ready.
All right, Scott, hang on. Here we go. First name. Poosab. Is that a cheese or font? Poosab. No Googling.
No Googling. It seems a little bit too odd to be a font, but I know there's a lot of weird font names. But I think I'll go with cheese.
Cheese, all right. Lock you in for a final answer?
Final answer.
Okay. Right off the bat, is Poosab a font? Yes or no? Yes? All right. Very good.
Right.
Scott knowing his fonts right off the bat. Next question here. Keep it going. All right, Scott. How about Leander? Is Leander a cheese or a font?
Sounds like a stroll or something.
not meander. Which is what I do around the Hartville stage. This is Leander.
It kind of sounds like a name, so I think fonts are a lot of times named after names of people that found them, so I'm going to go with font.
We'll lock you in for a final answer. Is Leander a font? Oh, look at you.
Wow.
First 2.
All right.
So you only need to get 1 out of the next 3 in order to win a prize of rub. Which I don't exactly I think there's a Fiesta rub in there from Hay Grill Hay, if that interests you.
Yeah, sounds good.
This could be the winning answer right here, Scott.
Oh.
So you tell me. Is Civray a cheese or a font? Civray.
Civray?
Yes.
With an S?
With a C.
C, Sev. Oh, that sounds kind of French.
It does?
Yeah.
I would never do anything French on purpose, of course. I don't know how I feel about the French.
I mean, the French love cheese, so I think with that, let's go with cheese on this one.
Cheese on this one, all right. Final answer?
No pressure. Yeah, final answer.
All right. Yeah, right. You got two to piss away here, so we'll go. Final answer. Lock them in.
We'll lock it.
Is Civray a cheese for the win? Yes! Look at this guy.
Awesome.
Scott Atkinson, winner of the Hay Grill Hay Fiesta rub, or some kind of, taco Mexican rub that I'm sure you will love and find very exciting. Scott, all you have to do is send me your shipping info, Greg, at the BBQ Central Show through email, and I will get that out to you at some point this week. And I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for coming on and playing, Scott.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
You got it. There he is. Scott, who I've met at Hartville Hardware a few different times, so appreciate him coming back on the show. And from all of us at Cheese or Font, again, we say, see you next time, everybody. All right, great. Good job, Scott. Getting mad love here in the instant chats. Very good. So I'll be looking for emails from both Joe and Scott. Again, the email address, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. And we'll make sure that we get those prizes sent out to you. I will say in my own defense, right off the bat, I'm a bit wishy-washy on the post office, but I'm going to be out in Worcester tomorrow, so there's a really good chance I'll stop at a post office tomorrow, as long as I don't forget to do it. But send me the emails. That's a great reminder. And we'll go from there. And thank you, everybody, for playing Cheese or Font, the game show that might be sweeping the nation quicker than we even know. All right. I don't have anything to read here from a business standpoint. We're light right now, but we're in talks. If you're somebody that has a barbecue or grilling service and you want to jump in on the show here from a sponsor standpoint, what can I tell you? We're 11 days into the month. We've got 15,000 downloads of the show. You can have a read done by me right here. Promoting it. You get priority booking on the show, all the fun stuff. So if you're somebody that wants to jump in, $600 a month. That's right. I mean, I can do 1,000 if you want, but I'm saying it's 600 because I love you guys. Product or service you want to get down, let's go. Shoot me an email, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com, and we can have at it. And we'll be back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Once again, I thank Joe Martinez and Scott Atkinson for joining me at the open segment. Just past playing games of cheese or font. Best 3 out of 5. The name I give you was either a cheese or a font. Maybe next time we'll revive porn star or athlete. Everybody loves that game. Sounds so dirty, but it's not. Unless I name all the porn stars and you get all 3 in a row, and then what? That's weird. Or impressive. Or weird. All right, let's go ahead and make tracks to get out of here all the way back in the first hour. Who did we have? We had Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. We talked about cold weather grilling, so if you missed that, go back and get it. Also, we talked with Robert Moss, robertfmoss.com, the contributing editor to Southern Living Magazine. We recapped his big event that he had mid-November with all those great pitmasters down there in the low country of South Carolina. We also talked about a look back on 2021, things that mattered, and a look into 2022. Second hour, Jessica Efland made her debut here on the show, a brand manager at Smithfield, smithfield.com, the website. And we talked about the 2022 Smithfield Grant recipients. We thank Smithfield for coming on this show and doing another exclusive with us, as we have done, which I believe is now the 7th year in a row for announcing, which I certainly appreciate. And congratulations to all the events that had their events called as being grant recipients, period. Big show planned for you next week. Of course, it's the third Tuesday, so you know that means a Stephen Reichland visit. There is also going to be a quarterly visit from one of my quarterly recurring guests. Great show. It's going to be a great show. Come on. So, how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.
This is Doug Scheiding of Rogue Cookers, Texas Embedded Correspondent. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.